Hi guys, I'm Gasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times to discuss books and horror. And it is finally summertime. It is time for cold coffee time. I do still drink hot coffee in the morning, but then throughout the day I enjoy myself some cold coffee. And we're here today to discuss horror books that are perfect for the summer, and these ones are targeted a little bit more on holidays. Places you would go on holidays, summer camps, stuff like that. And there's a list of a total of 10 books, so let's dig into it.
It's coffee time.
When you think of horror books, I think your mind automatically goes to dark woods, creepy haunted houses, and mostly things that are in the dark, cold winter or during the nighttime. But I'm here to tell you that there is a lot of horror to discover during daylight. There's a lot of horror to discover during summertime. Especially there are many good thrillers that take place in summer. And there is also something extra spooky when an author can create a great horror atmosphere during daytime. It just feels extra scary. And that is because we feel safe during daylight. We feel like nothing can touch us. It's always when we are in the darkness, that we let our fears get the best of ourselves. Luckily, there are many horror books and horror movies that take place in summer. We all know those stories of a group of friends that go to a cabin in the woods by the lake for summer. That is one of the most typical stories that you will find. Also, camps, summer camps are a fan favorite, including myself. But it could also be, I don't know, in a cruise, in a hotel, in Thailand. One of the books that I recommended last year was The Forgotten Island by David Sodergren. And it is a great summer read that takes place in a beautiful resort in Thailand. It's when you are not expecting that horror comes creeping in. You might also be on the road and you've run out of gas. What do? That's something, that can also happen. See Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I am here to recommend you some summer spooks. Here are 10 summer horror book recommendations that you can take to your next holidays. We have Savages by Greg F. Griffin, and this is supernatural horror. It began as a vacation to the Cook Islands, and we follow 7 friends that, were traveling in a boat to the islands when a storm hit them so hard that they were basically left stranded alone in a small raft. And they have been stranded for a couple of days. When they finally reach an isolated island, they don't really know where they landed. Also, they will soon realize that they are not alone in the island. And I love this type of scenarios. You guys know I love this trope of a group of people end up somewhere stranded, isolated, and yeah, something is coming for them. So perfect for the summer. Then we have The Lifeguard by Richard Tankersley Cusick, and this is a point horror book that I read last summer and I truly enjoyed. Kelsey's summer is supposed to be perfect. She is in a beautiful beach with her family, spending some quality time, and everything seems perfect. The beach, the lifeguards, the summer life. But then a girl goes missing, and that is when all trouble starts. As typical from point horror, we are gonna get some type of murder mystery. We're gonna get some fun. These are quick, perfect reads for summer. Next we have Summer Fireworks and My Corpse by Otsuichi. These are quite intense stories. It is 2 stories. The one that is more related to summer is about a 9-year-old girl that has been murdered at the beach, and we see how the killers are trying to bury the body, and the story is basically told from the deceased body of the 9-year-old. So a lot of trigger warnings here. I know this is a very heavy, very disturbing story, so proceed with caution with these stories. These are quite macabre, but it is a great, I would say, story for summer, and you get a bonus story as well. The next one is actually a spooky middle grade that I have myself just ordered, and it is on its way to me because I saw it and I was like, this is gonna be perfect for this summer for me to read. The book is called Camp Murder Phase, and it is written by Josh Berg and Sandra Mitchell. We are in 1983. That is, you guys, the year I was born. Spoiler alert, I'm old. Camp Sweetwater is finally reopening 3 decades after it was mysteriously closed. We follow obviously the kids that attend this summer camp, and they've been waiting to go to this camp. They are really excited when they get there. You know, they want to get all the experience with the marshmallows and the fire, but what they get instead is that they are all in grave danger. I'm really excited about this one. I'm gonna read it probably in the month of July, so I will report back. Next we have another short fun read, and it's called Party Summer by Errol Stein, and it is part of the Fear Street books. We follow a group of friends that are really excited for summer, and they want to throw a great summer party, go on vacation, go all out, and they end up in a hotel on an island, but the hotel when they get there is deserted, which is red flag. But the owner, you know, the people that work there tell them that they can stay if they want, which they do, and they think it's great because, you know, obviously the hotel is mostly deserted, so it's just them having the time of their lives. That is until one of them gets murdered, and that is where mystery begins. Obviously, that is also when they are gonna want to run for their lives, but they will realize that there is no way to escape. Next we have The Night Will Find Us by Matthew Lyons. This is a supernatural thriller that follows 6 teenagers that are trying to survive and escape the horrors of the woods. After a tragedy, 6 friends decide to go on a camping trip, and they decide to go to a really beautiful, huge, big forest. But there is something evil, something that is really cruel waiting for them there, and they will find themselves trying to survive, trying to escape this seemingly infinite forest. This evil that is lurking in the forest is gonna try to pick them apart one by one. Will any of them make it out of there alive? Next we have The Retweet by Mark Edwards, and this is a horror mystery thriller. 2 years ago, Julia lost everything. She lost her family during an accident. Her husband tried to rescue their daughter that was drowning in a river, and he also drowned. His body was recovered, but the body of Lily, the daughter, was never found. Julie believes that Lily might still be alive, but she's very defeated by everything in life and just decides to try to move on, and decides to open her home to create a writer's retreat. So one of the writers that goes there gets interest in Julia's story and decides to investigate and try to dig deeper into what actually happened to Lily. But just a couple of days after that writer arrives, a lot of mysterious and weird things start to happen. This one is more of a classic horror thriller that is trying to figure out what actually happened that day in the river, what happened to Lily. Next we have Camp Silver Oaks by Leroy Cross James, and this one is a book that I read last year and I really enjoyed, and I think it's going to be now a series. I think the author is working in book 2. And this is going to be perfect for people that love your classic story like Friday the 13th, but people that are looking for a more modern and different take on it. Camp Silver Oaks is not just your typical summer camp. It is a camp where young delinquents are being sent as sort of a punishment and to learn from their mistakes and kind of to be reintegrated back into society after they spent some time in the camp. So in the story here, we follow one of those teenagers that has been charged for a crime, and the judge decides to send him to this camp to kind of pay for what he's done, learn from his mistakes, and come back and reintegrate into society. When he gets there, he thinks, you know, this summer is actually gonna be great, and this is a great punishment. Instead of just going to jail, I'm just gonna spend the summer in a camp by a lake. Perfect. You would think that, but that is until people start getting hurt. There is something in the camp with them, and they also cannot leave. They cannot escape. This is a YA book inspired by horror movies and horror books from the 90s, so it's also going to be perfect for people that love those type of stories. Next we have Savage Island by Bryony Pierce. This is also a book that I read last year and I really enjoyed it. I feel like this is also a book perfect for summer, since we follow a group of friends that decide to participate on a game kind of experiment in order to win a large sum of money. A millionaire creates this game in one of his private islands and he invites people to enroll and participate in the game. The team that wins at the end of the day is the team that is going to get the prize money. However, our characters are friends that get to the island but soon realize the game is a lot more dangerous than they thought. There is nobody there to help them. There is no kind of assistance if anybody gets hurt, and it turns a little bit into a life or death game. I had a lot of fun with this one, and because this takes place in summer in an island, I think it's a lot of fun as well for the summer season. Obviously, it's for people that love stories like The Hunger Games, or stories where there is a game that you play and it's actually deadly. It's not as easy as it is to go through the game. And obviously, last but not least, I wanted to include a horror anthology, something that I like to do when I can, when I find one for this type of video recommendations, because I always feel like it's great to have an option of short stories for people that are really busy or don't have much time or are away on holidays in summer and they don't really have much reading time, so you can sneak this one into your suitcase. It's called Summer Slasher Horror Anthology, and let's start with volume 1. The book offers a total of 16 stories, so there is a lot of stories here that you can dig into. So there's going to be something for everybody. They are all slashers, so you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. I do love when a horror anthology is a little bit more theme specific, because then you know what you're gonna get, and especially if you are a mood reader and you're in the mood for slashers this summer, then this is a must for you. Alright guys, so these were my 10 summer horror book recommendations for this year. I hope that you found something in this list that is interesting for you. Let me know in the comments down below what is your favorite summer horror book, or which other ones would you recommend. Thank you guys as always so much for watching, and I hope to see you all as always in our next coffee time. Bye!